name's Mike. I go by DJ Access. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we are going to be building a better DJ community together. Today I am here with the Rane Performer. I am so excited to talk about it. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now. I feel like I have a great feel for it, and we're going to be going over my official review. So if you haven't watched how I review these DJ setups, I'll leave a link in the description below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Comment which setup you want me to review next. And I am a DJ gearhead, which means I have a full website that lists a bunch of gear. I have YouTube videos that'll show you how to use it, what you might like, who it's for, all that, and you're gonna get a discount on that gear. So check out that link in the description below as well, and we are going to get right into it. Who is the Rane Performer for, and why might you buy it? Well, it's all in the name. I think this is built for the performance style DJ, someone who is using stems a lot, who wants dedicated places on the mixer and the deck for each of the features that they use. And spoiler alert, that's me. So I was very excited when they came out with this. I think it's a great form factor. The build quality is great, but we're gonna get into all that. But if you are a performance style DJ who maybe doesn't want to bring out 12-inch platters, is looking for something that's more mobile, you got your big system at home and you want something that you can bring and still do all your tricks, but it's just a smaller form factor, then this is for you. So let's start up with the ranking system. If you haven't figured out my ranking system yet, I'm going to put a video in the description below that'll explain all the different point totals and how I go about it, all the different features I'm going to talk about. So we're going to start with 100. Looks are worth 5 points. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Again, in past videos, I've talked about the DJAXCESS system gets a 5 out of 5. The Rane 12, Rane 72 gets a 5 out of 5. And any Technique 1200 turntable with a battle style mixer is also getting a 5 out of 5. This doesn't have the 12-inch platters, but I think it has everything else. It has the spinning platters, which I think brings it, 1 point up from a 3 out of 5, which is what I gave the RX3. So we're looking at a 4 out of 5 for looks. And I'm not just talking about mine, but like objective, what looks good in photos and on Instagram looks. For build quality, this is a Rane unit. I mean, these Rane's known for their tanks. I had a Rane 1 forever. I've had 2 sets of Rane 12s, 2 Rane 72s, and they all work the same. I do take care of them, but even if I didn't, I've seen these things in their tanks. They're known for being tanks. 5 out of 5 for build quality. Okay, now we're going to get into the essential features. These are all worth 4 points, and the unit starts with 100, and I'm going to dock points for each essential feature that is missing. The nice thing about this system is if there's a feature that you don't use, that you don't consider an essential feature, you can still use this and replace, swap out, blah, blah, blah. I talk about it all in the other video. So XLR and RCA mains. We do have XLR and RCA outputs. There is no dedicated level for the RCA out, and that's different than some of the other mixers that I've been talking about. That's different than the Rane 72 that has a session out knob. So I'm still going to give it the points because it does have that out, but you do not have dedicated volume. You do have 2 combo mic inputs. I think that's very important. It does have a 1/4-inch booth out. There were some controllers that started doing XLR booths. I don't like that. I think 1/4-inch booths make sense. So you have XLRs for your mains, 1/4-inch for your booth, and then your recorder would take an RCA. Auxiliary in. Now this does have 4 channels. So technically it does have an RCA in or an auxiliary in, but with stem split, you want to keep these on USB mode, not line mode, but USB mode, because you want to be using stem split. So I'm going to dock 2 points for not having an auxiliary in. That's one thing about this mixer that I'm kind of annoyed about, because you see my Akai pads over here. I would love a dedicated section for that while still being able to use stem split. Yes, it gives you 4 channels, but really it's 2 channels because you're going to be using stem split supposedly. So I'm going to dock 2 points for an auxiliary in. 8 hot cues or 16 hot cues, however you want to look at it. Boom, we got that, no problem. Pitch bend, we do have pitch bend right here. It does take some getting used to. There's smaller buttons and it's right next to the key adjust, but pitch bend's right here. I'll get used to that fairly soon. Loop control, we have the loop on off and then the cut half. That's good. One of the things I'm really disappointed in is that they have the performance pad roll but not loops. If I could change that to loops so that, I know this is always going to be my 2-beat loop, always going to be my 4-beat loop right here, always going to be, and so on and so forth. I don't want that on roll. I don't want to have to hold it down. I want to hit the loop and go. If I'm here, then I would want it so every time I load up a new track, it automatically goes to 4-beat, because I can go 4-beat, chop, chop, now it's 1-beat. 4-beat, chop, chop, now it's 16, right? So I do have dedicated loop controls, but if I could change it, I would change the roll to an auto loop. I don't know too many people who use the roll. It's like really just the half one. That's all people use. So having access to all your loops after a 1 button press would be nice. I'm gonna give them the points, but I am disappointed that this is roll and not auto loops. I tried to MIDI map it, and it seems like if you MIDI map it, it makes it so these pads are always going to be the auto loops. You can't MIDI map the individual pad modes. I could be wrong. It could be coming in a future firmware update, but currently I'm going to give them the points because they have loop control right here. They dedicated loop control, but they did give us roll instead of auto loops, and I think that was a mistake. I would have preferred to have roll replace slicer and auto loop replace roll. So Rane, if you're listening, that's one thing. I'm going to give them the points though. Beat jump controls. We have them right up here, and then we have the beat jump length. I think that's perfect. Great job on Rane for giving us dedicated beat jump controls, and I think they're in a good spot. Filter, yep, got the filters on all channels, no problem. We also have filter roll, noise, and flanger. I'll hit those later. Reverb, yep, we got reverb on here as well as echo out. Some nice bonus features there. I'll talk about that in a minute. Stems, we have stems everywhere. We have stems on the performance pads, stems for acapella, instrumental. One thing I will notice is if you're using stems, everything's on and you turn it off. If you're using this is turning it into an acapella. So you're not turning the acapella off, you are changing it to an acapella. And I don't think that that's as intuitive. I would have rather these both be on and I take the acapella out. That's not how it works. If you hit acapella, now it's an acapella. If you hit instrumental, now it's an instrumental, which is different than the stems pads where if you hit it, you're turning it off. Also, you have to hit shift to use the stem effects. I would have loved for that to have been an option in Serato, whether these are effects or like whether you have to shift for effects or whether it's blank. So sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I'm hitting the cues over here, but I want it to be an effects. I can't stretch like that. So there's no way for me to hit a cue point and this while getting the effects on there. Now, if I hit shift, if this is already done and I hit shift, now I get the effects on there. So I would love an option in Serato to make these to make the shift regular and have these always be on effect, because I think it's nice to have that little echo or the break to get those out. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. Again, I'm going to give them the points for stem. They have a million different stems. They have stem split on here, but this was a little bit counterintuitive to me, and I would like an option where I always have the effects on and I can turn them off with the shift button. Sorry for the rant on that. Next up is sync. We have a sync button here. Great. Key sync, we also have key sync as well as a reset as well as key adjust. I don't use key adjust. I almost always just use key sync. So I MIDI map this to key sync and then this to key reset only. And so key adjust is basically off for me. I'm still going to give them the points because it's shift key sync is not a big deal. But I did MIDI map those. Sensor, we do have a sensor, or you can use silent Q. I don't use silent Q, so sensor is great. I love that. IEC power, yep, they gave us IEC power. Stop time, break adjust, and we have that here right on the knob, right where it should be, and a downbeat marker. I would have liked this slip mode. I don't use slip mode a bunch. I know people do, especially battle people, but I would have liked this to be a downbeat marker or a quantize. See, typically each deck has a quantize button, and that's what I switched to the downbeat marker. This doesn't have that. I may experiment switching this to a downbeat marker. If I can do that, I would be really happy because I don't see another button that I could change to make a downbeat marker. And this is like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like a downbeat marker. I usually use the quantize button, but they have the quantize button built into the center of the mixer. So I'm actually going to dock a point for that. No button that I can easily use for a downbeat marker. I may try with the slip, but the slip's a nice feature for some DJs. They might use that, so I am going to dock the point. So within the essential features, we took 4 points away for not having a downbeat marker, and I took 2 points away for not using an aux in, because technically this is still a 2-deck mixer if you're using stem split. Let's talk about bonus features because this unit has a number of them. Filter roll. I think that's super, super nice. If you've been a DJ long enough, you know what filter roll does, and having it on one button and having it on the main filter, that's really, really cool. Great effect. Noise, we're seeing the noise riser on more and more mixers. I love to see it here. That's 2 bonus features. Stem split, definitely going to be listed as a bonus feature. Sampler level, we do have that here. Sometimes that is missing on controllers and mixers, so we have that. Love that. So that's going to be another great bonus feature. I think I gave points on the other one, but it's the same as echo. If you have echo, you technically have echo out. Is it nice to have it on one button? Yeah, I'll give it 1 point. So I'm going to do, let's see, 2 points each for 8. We're going to give it 9 bonus points for bonus features. And there you have it. Look at that final score, guys. 102 out of 100. How did we get there? Well, we had 9 points worth of bonus features, 6 points for essential features, 1 point for look, -7, +9. We get to 102, which is why I'm talking about this mixer so much. I love it. Again, the few gripes that I have with the roll instead of auto loop and not having an auxiliary input, I completely understand why they did that. You know, the wanting the stem effect always on as an option. These are so nitpicky things, which is completely why I think that the 102 is completely justified. The only thing that would make this better for me is if they made if you broke it out and they made this into a 12-inch version. I can totally see that coming from Rane, but I believe the hype. This unit is fantastic. It's going to be my go-to going out unit, and I'm considering getting another one for the studio. However, some of the people in my stream say they like having the big screens of the Denon so they can see what songs playing, what's happening. Obviously these have smaller screens, not as good, and I've been using my logo on these mostly. Sometimes I'll have the waveforms, but having your logo on there could be another bonus feature as well. I'm adding this on to the end of the Rane Performer video because I forgot one of my favorite bonus features. It's the scratch bank. So instead of 102 points out of 100, I'm giving it 104 points out of 100. The scratch bank is super cool. You double tap, you can pick any scratch sample in your library, you scratch a little bit, maybe work something out for the cameras or video cameras in front of you. They go away, you hit one more button, and then you're back to whatever song you were getting ready to mix in. I think it's a great feature, definitely worth those 2 points, and 104 points is crazy for the Rane Performer. That's it. If you're looking to pick one of these up, make sure you check out my DJ Gearhead page. You're going to get a nice discount, as well as some information, more tutorial videos as I start to explore this thing more. That's the DJ Gearhead page. Make sure you like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Ask questions in the comment, and I will see you next time. Peace.